You can call me Love. I can't tell you that. Oh, for the kids, the family, the weather.
He was the king of hip-hop hustle, the man who turned beats into billions, parties into power moves. Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, fashion icon, liquor tycoon. For decades, he lived life like a headline. Private jets, $60 million mansions, yachts that kissed the Caribbean waves, and closets stacked with designer drip. But behind the velvet ropes and champagne showers, a storm was brewing. In the world of fame and fortune, power can buy silence, but not forever. This is the story of how one of music's biggest moguls went from Harlem hustle to Hollywood scandal, and finally to a federal prison cell. Before we get into this thrilling video, hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sean John Combs was born on November 4th, 1969, in Harlem, New York City. His mother, Janice Combs, née Smalls, worked as a model who organized fashion shows and as a teacher's assistant. His father, Melvin Earl Combs, served in the U.S. Air Force, worked at a hair salon, and was an associate of convicted New York drug lord Frank Lucas. Melvin Combs probably began working part-time as a drug dealer around 1970. In 1972, at age 33, Melvin was shot dead while sitting in his car on Central Park West. According to a 2010 account by Vibe magazine, Melvin Combs was killed by Walter Grant, a fellow affiliate of mafia-supplied heroin dealer Willie Abraham. Grant was convinced that Melvin had either ratted out his crew after his arrest or planned to, although Lucas himself doubted that Combs had, in fact, revealed any information to law enforcement. Sean Combs was 2 years and 2 months old when his father died. Combs has a younger sister, Keisha, and grew up in poverty. Janice Combs and her children stayed in Upper Manhattan for several years after Melvin's death, before moving to Mount Vernon, which is an inner suburb of New York City, located just north of the Bronx. Combs said he was given the nickname Puff as a child because he would huff and puff when he was angry. Combs was raised Catholic and served as an altar boy. Sean Combs graduated in 1987 from Mount St. Michael Academy, an all-boys Catholic school in the Bronx. He played on school football team that won a division title in 1986. In autumn 1987, Combs enrolled as a business major at Howard University, a historically black college in Washington, D.C., but he left after his second year. At college, Combs was known for throwing fun parties. 3 classmates also recalled him using a belt to beat his then-girlfriend outside her Harriet Tubman quadrangle dormitory. In 1990, he landed an internship at Uptown Records. Within 2 years, he was producing hits for Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. But Diddy wanted more. In 1993, he launched Bad Boy Entertainment. His first signing? Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G. With Biggie's success, Bad Boy became a cultural force. The 90s were Diddy's playground. Platinum records, flashy videos, and a lifestyle that screams success. By the early 2000s, he wasn't just a music mogul, he was a brand. Sean John Fashion debuted in 1998, redefining urban luxury. Then came Ciroc Vodka, DeLeon Tequila, and Revolt TV. Every move was calculated, every venture a power play. Forbes crowned him hip-hop's richest man multiple times. At his peak, his net worth flirted with $1 billion. Diddy's empire funded a life of excess, mansions, private jets, the sleekest rides. Why don't we get into some of that? His mansions. Holmby Hills, the crown jewel. Purchased in 2014 for $39 million, Diddy's Holmby Hills estate was the ultimate flex. Spanning 17,000 square feet on 1.3 acres, this mega mansion featured 10 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, a 35-seat private theater, a wine cellar, spa building, sauna, a recording studio, library, and home office, an infinity pool with a secret cave and underwater tunnel, outdoor basketball court, gourmet outdoor kitchen, and lush gardens. Inside, it was pure opulence, marble floors, antique chandeliers, high ceilings, and sliding glass doors opening to manicured lawns. The home screamed European elegance with a modern twist. By 2024, Diddy listed it for $61.5 million, hoping to cash in on appreciation. But the timing was disastrous, just days before federal raids linked to sex trafficking allegations. The mansion became infamous as the freak-off house, allegedly hosting wild parties that fueled the scandal. Agents seized electronics, safes, and even dismantled parts of the home during the March 2024 raid. Today, the property sits unsold, stigmatized by controversy despite its jaw-dropping amenities. Star Island, Miami's waterfront paradise. Diddy's love for Miami was legendary, and his Star Island compound was proof. First purchase, 2003 for $14.5 million. Second purchase, 2021 for $35 million. Formerly owned by Gloria and Emilio Estefan. Combined estate, 2 adjacent properties, creating a private compound with waterfront views. Features included 8 bedrooms, 8.5 bathrooms, private dock for yachts, spa, sauna, home gym, infinity pool overlooking Biscayne Bay, underground wine cellar, panic room, and Zen garden. Smart home integration for ultimate control. This wasn't just a home, it was a fortress of luxury. But like Holmby Hills, Star Island wasn't immune to scandal. Federal agents raided both properties in March 2024, searching for evidence tied to the same investigation. Beyond LA and Miami, Diddy's portfolio included East Hampton Estate, a summer getaway for lavish parties, Manhattan Penthouse, Park Imperial, 230 West 56th Street, New York City, Toluca Lake House, featuring a soundproof music studio in Koi Pond Garden, New Jersey Mansions, Saddle River and Alpine properties for privacy and prestige. Each property reflected his taste for exclusivity and grandeur, often serving as backdrops for music videos, fashion shoots, and celebrity gatherings. Private jet. For Sean Diddy Combs, flying commercial was never an option. His world was private runways, champagne at 40,000 feet, and Instagram posts that screamed opulence. The crown jewel of his empire? A $60 million Gulfstream G550, nicknamed Combs Air, a flying palace that became both a status symbol and later a scandal magnet. Purchased in 2015, Diddy's Gulfstream G550 was custom-built for luxury and performance. Capacity, 14 to 19 passengers. Range, 6,750 nautical miles. Fly LA to London nonstop. Engines, twin Rolls-Royce BR710 C411. Speed, Mach 0.85 cruising. Features, lie-flat seats in private sleeping quarters, full-size galley for gourmet dining, high-speed Wi-Fi and satellite phone, conference area for business meetings, entertainment system with multiple screens. This wasn't just a jet, it was a statement. Diddy flaunted it on Instagram, boarding in designer fits, sipping Ciroc mid-flight, and hosting A-list friends en route to exotic destinations. For years, Combs Air was the ultimate flex. White parties in St. Bart's? The jet got him there. Business meetings in Paris? Done in style. A one-way trip from LA to NYC cost over $116,000, not including taxes and extras. But for Diddy, it was pocket change, a small price for privacy and prestige. Even in prison, Diddy's jet kept earning. Managed by Silver Air, the G550 was listed on elite charter platforms like Jetly. In just 8 months, it flew 126 trips, covering 149,000 miles, roughly 6 times around the globe. Each flight averaged $32,597, generating $4 million in revenue while its owner sat in a federal cell. Passengers had no idea they were flying in a jet owned by one of the most controversial figures in music. Registered under Love Air LLC, the aircraft became Diddy's last profitable asset as his empire crumbled. His cars. When you think of Sean Diddy Combs, you think music, money, and motion. For decades, his cars weren't just vehicles, they were statements. From British elegance to Italian speed demons, Diddy's garage was a showroom of ambition. Diddy's love affair with Rolls-Royce was legendary. 2018 Rolls-Royce Phantom, price $500,000. A handcrafted masterpiece with suicide doors, whisper quiet ride, and a 6.75-liter V12 engine. Known for its yacht-inspired design and unmatched comfort, 2008 Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe, price $250,000. A rare convertible powered by a turbocharged V12, hitting 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds. Diddy was often seen cruising in this white beauty during summer parties. Italian stallions, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. Diddy's taste for speed was just as refined as his taste for luxury. Ferrari F430 Spider 2005, price $230,000. 4.3-liter V8 engine, 480 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Aluminum body for lightweight performance. Ferrari 360 Spider 2002, price $160,000. Featured in his music video I Need a Girl, Part 2, linking his cars to his art. Lamborghini Gallardo Spider 2008, price $225,000. 5.0-liter V10 engine, top speed of 195 miles per hour. Diddy famously gifted a white Gallardo to Justin Bieber for his 16th birthday. Mercedes Maybach 57, price $420,000. Twin-turbo V12 engine, 604 horsepower, top speed over 170 miles per hour. Rear-ended by a Rolls-Royce Phantom outside a New York nightclub. One of Diddy's most infamous car stories. 1958 Chevrolet Corvette, price $126,000. A timeless piece of Americana with a 3.9-liter V8 engine. 2019 Cadillac Escalade, price $75,000. The ultimate VIP SUV for entourage travel. 2012 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, price $50,000. Custom mods added $80,000. Custom paint, rims, and stereo system for rugged luxury. Today, Diddy's $1.6 million car collection sits idle while he serves time in federal prison. Once symbols of power, these cars now gather dust, silent witnesses to a fallen empire. Fortune magazine listed Combs at number 12 on their top 40 of entrepreneurs under 40 in 2002. Forbes magazine estimated that for the year ending May 2017, Combs earned $130 million, ranking him number 1 among entertainers. He topped the Forbes annual hip-hop rich list in 2014 and 2017. He was one of the wealthiest musical artists, with an estimated net worth of $1 billion by 2022. In 1998, Combs started a clothing line, Sean John. It was nominated for the Council of Fashion Designers of America, CFDA, Award for Menswear Designer of the Year in 2000 and won in 2004. California billionaire Ronald Burkle invested $100 million into the company in 2003. In late 2006, the department store Macy's removed Sean John jackets from their shelves when they discovered that the clothing was made using raccoon dog fur. Combs had not known the jackets were made with genuine fur, but as soon as he was alerted, he had production stopped. In November 2008, Combs added a men's perfume line, I Am King, to the Sean John brand. The fragrance, dedicated to Barack Obama, Muhammad Ali, and Martin Luther King Jr., featured Bar Raffaelli in its advertising. In early 2016, Sean John introduced the brand's Girls collection. Personal life. Combs is a father to 7 children. His first biological child, Justin, was born in 1993 to fashion designer and stylist Misa Hilton. Combs had an on-again, off-again relationship with Kimberly Porter from 1994 to 2007. He raised and adopted Quincy, born 1991, Porter's son from a previous relationship with singer-producer and Combs's rival, Al B. Together they had a son, Christian, born in 1998, and twin daughters born in 2006. Porter died of pneumonia in 2018. 5 months before the birth of his twins, Combs had a daughter, born to Sarah Chapman. He took legal responsibility for her in October 2007. Combs was in an 11-year relationship with Cassie Ventura from 2007 to 2018. Combs' seventh child was born on October 15, 2022. Her mother is Dana Tran. Before his downfall, white parties became legendary. A-list celebrities, all-white dress code, champagne flowing like rivers. Instagram was his stage. Yachts, exotic vacations, diamond-studded watches. He was living the dream, or so it seemed. But behind the glamour, whispers grew louder. Rumors of wild parties, drugs, and coercion. For years, they were dismissed as tabloid gossip, until one lawsuit changed everything. November 16, 2023, a single lawsuit shakes the foundations of hip-hop's most powerful empire. Cassie Ventura, singer, model, and longtime partner of Sean Diddy Combs, steps into the spotlight with allegations that would ignite a cultural firestorm. Cassie's lawsuit wasn't just a claim, it was a revelation. Filed under the Adult Survivors Act, it accused Diddy of rape and sexual assault, physical abuse and violent episodes, sex trafficking and coercion into drug-fueled sex acts, filming these encounters and using them for blackmail. Her words painted a chilling picture, years of control, manipulation, and fear. She described being isolated, monitored, and threatened with the release of compromising footage if she ever defied him. Within 24 hours, the case was settled for $20 million. Both parties issued statements calling the resolution amicable. Diddy denied wrongdoing, but the damage was done. The speed of the settlement raised eyebrows. Why so fast? Legal experts pointed to the Adult Survivors Act, which opened a limited window for old claims. For Diddy, the risk of prolonged media scrutiny was too high. Silence came at a price. Cassie's lawsuit was a spark that lit the fire. Within weeks, dozens of women came forward, filing civil suits with similar allegations. The whispers of freak-off parties, drug-fueled, sex-charged gatherings turned into a chorus of accusations. March 25, 2024. Beverly Hills wakes up to chaos. Homeland Security agents storm Sean Diddy Combs' $61 million estate. At the same time, another team hits his Star Island mansion in Miami. The raids are part of a federal sex trafficking investigation, an empire built on music, now under siege. Diddy had no idea he was a target. He was at Miami Opa-locka Airport, prepping for a family trip to the Bahamas. Rumors swirl. Was he fleeing? No. Agents seize his phones. His private jet sits idle. Inside his homes, investigators find loaded AR-15 rifles with serial numbers scratched off, sex toys, lingerie, baby oil, and lubricant, electronic devices, and narcotics. The optics are brutal. Armored vehicles, tactical boats, and cameras everywhere. His lawyer calls it a witch hunt and military-level force. But the feds aren't playing. This is the Southern District of New York, and they want blood. 6 months later, the hammer drops. Diddy is arrested at a Manhattan hotel. The indictment? A bombshell. Racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution, Mann Act. Prosecutors allege a decade-long criminal enterprise, the Combs Enterprise, using fame and fortune to lure women into freak-off parties, coercing them into sex acts with paid escorts while he filmed. Violence, threats, even arson. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit was just the beginning. Diddy pleads not guilty, offers $50 million bail. Judge says no. He's shipped to Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Confirms the infamous 2016 hotel hallway video showing Diddy assaulting her after a freak-off. Her words cut through the courtroom. Cassie, on stand. I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame, the guilt. Over 7 weeks, prosecutors call 34 witnesses, former assistants, male escorts, industry insiders, even Kid Cudi, who testifies about his car being set on fire after Diddy learned of his relationship with Cassie. Jurors watch videos of freak-offs, review text messages arranging escorts like dinner reservations, and see financial records for luxury hotels and private flights. The government argues these weren't consensual acts. They were orchestrated exploitation. The defense? They call no witnesses. Their strategy? Claim the government failed to prove coercion beyond a reasonable doubt. June 27th. Closing arguments ignite the courtroom. Prosecutors demand accountability for a man who weaponized fame. Defense insists, this is not RICO. This is not trafficking. This is a relationship gone bad. The jury deliberates for 2 days, reviewing Cassie's testimony and the 2016 assault video repeatedly. Tension builds. After 7 weeks of testimony and 3 days of deliberation, the jury files back into Manhattan Federal Court. The world holds its breath. For Sean Diddy Combs, this is the moment that will define the rest of his life. The charges were staggering. If convicted on the top counts, Diddy could spend life behind bars. The verdict. Acquitted on the most serious charges. Guilty on 2 Mann Act counts. Each carries up to 10 years, a potential 20-year sentence. Diddy then drops to his knees, clasping his hands in prayer. He mouths, "Thank you," to the jury, tears streaming down his face. Reporters scribble furiously. The courtroom buzzes with shock. Judge Subramanian denies bail. Diddy remains at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center until sentencing. Prosecutors push for 11 years. Defense argues for 14 months. Time served. The guidelines? Anywhere from 21 months to 63 months. The stakes? Everything. After months of speculation, the day arrives. Victims prepare statements. Cameras swarm outside. Inside, the atmosphere is electric. Judge Subramanian. "Mr. Combs, you may speak." Diddy rises. His voice trembles. "I want to apologize to Cassie Ventura, to Jane, to their families. My actions were disgusting, shameful, and sick. I was lost in excess, in ego. I destroyed my reputation, my businesses, my family. I hate myself right now. I've been stripped down to nothing." He sobs. His children cry. A 12-minute video plays. Diddy as a father, a philanthropist. His lawyers plead for mercy. Judge Subramanian. "Mr. Combs, I've considered your contributions to music and the Black community, your philanthropy, and your family ties. But I cannot ignore the abuse of power, the coercion, the violence. These were not mere consensual acts. They were crimes." He pauses. "A sentence of 50 months is sufficient, but no greater than necessary. It ensures punishment without erasing the possibility of a life after prison." The sentence: 50 months in federal prison, $500,000 fine, and 5 years supervised release. No applause, no cheers, just silence, and the sound of a gavel sealing the fate of a man who once ruled the music world. And that is the unbelievable rise and shocking downfall of Sean Diddy Combs. A story that started in Harlem, climbed to the highest peaks of fame and fortune, and crashed harder than anyone ever expected. From chart-topping hits and global influence to federal courtrooms and a prison sentence, Diddy's journey is a reminder that power can build empires, but choices can destroy them. What do you think? Is this the end of a legacy or just the beginning of a new chapter? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we've got more deep dives, more untold stories, and more real talk coming soon. Thanks for watching, and remember that behind every spotlight, there's a shadow. Stay curious, stay aware, and see you in the next one.